Hello all, Archana here. I welcome you all to my today's session. We are in the second chapter today, that is index numbers. Second chapter of statistics. Okay, so let's start. So let us see now what is the meaning of index number. So this index number is a percentage ratio which measures the average changes of several variables between two different times, places or situations. So you can understand from this only that they are come here in index number. Comparison is made between two times or between two different places or comparison between two different situations, isn't it? So we often read in newspapers about relative changes in the price of particular commodities like steel, gold, etc., isn't it? Or we also see the difference between commodities like consumer goods, milk or milk products, cosmetics, etc., isn't it? So these facts are described using our index numbers. So formally, the index number was constructed by an Italian called Mr. Carli in the year 1764. This is done to compare the changes in price for the year 1750 with the price level in 1500. So this was done to study the effect of discovery of America on the price level in Italy. So initially, the index numbers were designed to study the changes in the price level or the purchasing power of money. Okay, but now this index number we can see in almost all the fields. Okay, so it's also, this index number also acts as a barometer. So what is barometer now? So this barometer, it is a measurement to find out the variations or fluctuations in the economic conditions of a country. So when index numbers of prices, listen carefully, prices, outputs or bank deposits, reserves are prepared individually, they put a light on the variations in the price level of business activities. Okay, so now we prepared the indexes of prices, output, bank deposits individually, isn't it? So when individually they are prepared, they are called as simple index number. So now all the simple index numbers when combined together, we call it as composite index. Okay, so this composite index could act as an economic barometer. Okay. So our next topic now, it is terminologies. Here mainly two terms are there, base spread and current spread. To study this, go for the below picture, just look into it. Here prices of 1998, 1999 and 2000 are given, isn't it? So if you are comparing between 1998 and 1999, you can say as our base spread is 1998 and current spread will be 1999. And if you are comparing between 1999 and 2000, you can say as 1999 is our base spread and 2000 is our current spread. Okay? And now let us see the uses of index numbers. And the first one is, it simplifies the data and facilitates for comparison. So you can understand this, right? What is comparison, how it is compared between base year and current year, isn't it? Yeah. So the next one is, it helps in studying trends and tendencies. So what is this trends and tendencies now? Say for example, if one umbrella seller is there, he can say that for his umbrellas there is demand only during monsoon season, isn't it? So nowhere he can say as he cannot prove anywhere that his umbrellas are having demand during winter season, isn't it? So that is trends now. Okay. So first you should understand the trends. Okay. So this index number they help us in understanding the trends and tendencies. And the next one is it helps in measuring purchasing power. So what is purchasing power now? So for example, if you are having 1000 rupees, okay, in 2020, okay, now again let us compare between what 2020 and 2010, okay. So if you listen to your parents, you might have heard them saying in 2020 or during in 20, not in 2020, in when they were small, during their childhood, they could not even imagine that they had 1000 rupees, because it was that much, it had that much value then. But now if we people speak about 1000 rupees, it is having very less value, isn't it? So with just 1000 rupees, then they could purchase more quantity of items when compared to today's, isn't it? With 1000 rupees, we can purchase very less quantity of goods now, isn't it? So that is the purchasing power of money. It purely depends depends on inflation and deflation. And the next one is it measures the cost of living of different group of people. Here, cost of living. Let us compare between rural and urban. So what I can say is, in rural area, the cost of living is less when compared with the cost of living of urban area. So now try to analyze what I said. So that's about the cost of living. We already studied that in economics. Next, it is used by the government to frame suitable policies. So these index numbers are also used by the government to frame the suitable policies regarding fixation of bank rates, allowance to government employees, license to new firms, imports, exports, taxation, etc. So that's all about the uses of index numbers. So now let us see limitations of index numbers. And the first one is based on sample data. So if you are going for a particular study of India, okay, you are studying on a particular topic in India, it doesn't mean that you have to go to every like a nook and corner of India, isn't it? It is not possible also. So what you are doing, you are just taking the samples, isn't it? So sample may differ from one place to another place, isn't it? So that is the first limitation of index number. And the second one is quality of product ignored. Here, when it comes to index number, we are mainly comparing between the price and the quantity or the volume of the products. And we are not concentrating much on quality. So that is another limitation of index numbers. And the third one is may be misused to get the desired conclusion. So we have already seen that this index number is prepared based on sample data, isn't it? So for example, now one person, he wanted to prove that for his products there is demand in our country. So what he'll do is he'll go to that particular locality where there is more demand for his products. Okay, and anyways we are going with sample data, isn't it? We are not going to nook and corner of India to get the index, isn't it? So like that, what he'll do is he'll prepare the index number using the sample data from the place where he may get the favorable results, isn't it? So that's how he can go for the conclusions. So this is another limitation of index numbers. And then next one is customs, traditions and habits of people vary from time to time. We cannot expect to have a demand for all the products all the time. Okay, particular product will have its own season to be used, isn't it? So customs, traditions and habits of people vary from time to time. And the last one is numerous formulas results in different answers. So this is one limitation and also drawback, that index numbers consist of many formulas. So these formulas, whatever formulas are there, many formulas are there, these formulas do not give same answers. Okay, it varies from one formula to another formula. So this is another limitation of index numbers. Yes. And our next topic is types of index numbers. And the first one is price index numbers. Changes in the prices are compared between base year and current year. And this is denoted by P01. So price indexes are further subdivided into the following classes: wholesale price index numbers and retail price index numbers. So wholesale price index numbers, they compare the wholesale prices in different places. And when it comes to retail price index number, again they are comparing between the retail prices of different places. So this retail prices, they are also having another category, that is consumer price index number, which is commonly known as cost of living index. Okay, so the second type is quantity index numbers. This is quantity index numbers study the relative changes in the volume of goods produced or consumed or distributed. This again is denoted by Q01. And the next one is value index numbers. So when it comes to value index numbers, they study the relative changes in the total money value of production or transaction, and it is denoted by V01. Yes. And the next one is steps in construction of index numbers. And the first step is defining the purpose. The first and foremost problem in the construction of index numbers is to define clearly and precisely the purpose for which the index number is used, isn't it? Or index number is required. So first you should have one particular reason why I am going to prepare this index number. So once the purpose of the index number is known, it helps in selection of items, averages, weights, etc. Second one is selection of base period. Base year, you already studied that, isn't it? So usually the index number, the index for the base year is always 100. Okay. So this, while selecting the base year, we have to keep in mind several points. And the first one is base year should be economically stable. That means there should not be any inflation, deflation in the year which we are going to select as a base period. And the second one is the base period should not be too distant from the current period. There should be nominal distance between the base year and current period. And the last one is depending on the situation, the base period is fixed or change based. So fixed index base period means for all the current years we keep fixed period as a fixed. It will not change. Okay. And when it comes to chain base, we are taking base year the immediate previous year. Okay. Yes. And the third one is selection of commodities or items. So the selection of commodities basically depends on the purpose of survey. And the next one is obtaining price quotation. We all know that the prices of many commodities vary from place to place, and also they vary from shop to place, shop to shop in some places, isn't it? So price quotations are to be obtained first from different places, different agencies at regular intervals. And once after obtaining the price quotations, averages are taken and used in construction of index numbers. So the next one is choice of an average. So the commonly used averages are arithmetic mean and geometric mean. So arithmetic mean means it is very simple, isn't it, to calculate. However, the geometric mean is the best average for averaging ratios and relative changes. It is preferred in construction of index numbers for the sake of greater accuracy and precision. So the next one is selection of weights. So the selection of weights is nothing but the importance given to each items. Okay. And the last one is selection of suitable formula. You all know that index number consists of many formulas now. So based on the availability of data, we have to select the suitable formula. Okay. So with this, I am concluding today's session. In the next session, I will start with practicals. Thank you.